Morning, and welcome to Decaf Thursday, where I am not drinking anything with caffeine in it because I'm trying to cut down to 2 cups of coffee a day or 2 caffeines a day. So, like yesterday, I had a cup of coffee and a Coke Zero. Today, I've had a cup of coffee, and now I'm drinking Body Armor because it's good for me, it has electrolytes, and I will drink caffeine later. Mark, are you cutting down or are you ramping up?
No, I mean, I'm just one right now. I'm not. But here's the thing: is that two caffeines is a terrible rule because you can have like two energy drinks, and that's more than like 15 cups of coffee. So I feel like you
Okay.
need to have a caffeine like limit to cut down, like 300 mg's or whatever. I feel like that's how you should do it.
But I don't drink energy drinks. And so, really, if I'm having caffeine, it's either coffee, iced tea, or Coke Zero.
Yeah, but you get some of those. I mean, you get some of the espresso. You get some of those really high content caffeine things, lattes. So I mean,
I do
like
that.
that's like triple what a normal cup of coffee is.
I'll be like an oat milk latte with 4 shots of espresso. It's one
Yeah,
caffeine.
yeah. Oh, but I only had two caffeines. I mean, it was 9 different shots, but it's only two caffeines. So yeah, I think you should maybe change that.
You always make me think about reevaluating my approach to like consuming beverages and food, dating, just life in general. Like I always call
Yeah,
me
well,
in.
that's good. I mean, it might not be good advice, but at least it's making you think. But yes, I try to do that too. And then I just realized that they actually have like an energy drinks and coffee and stuff. You can see exactly how much caffeine's in it.
Yes.
And it's like, that really blew my mind. And then I read like, you're not supposed to have more than like, I think 400 milligrams or something a day.
Okay, well, I'm out here trying to live dangerously.
Okay, well, yeah,
So
do whatever you want. But you just said you're trying to cut down. So I was just trying to help.
I am trying to cut down because I think it's making my anxiety worse. And also I stay up so late at night. Like I'll get into bed because I'm physically tired. And then I get in and my brain is like thinking about something embarrassing I said in the 6th grade and like being like, oh my gosh. And I know that's caffeine. I know that's caffeine's effect on my anxiety.
You don't even go back to 6th grade. Just go back to the day before. I'm sure you said something
It's
embarrassing.
like
Go all the way back.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I'd rather not, if we're being honest. You know what else we're cutting back on drinking? Well, maybe not you, but definitely me. Vodka. Okay, listen. Mark and I have differing opinions on this, but I went to New York last weekend and all of the buildings were lit up blue and yellow and I thought it was great that basically the whole world was sending a huge middle finger to Vladimir Putin. And I just think it's so funny now that people are pouring out vodka. I mean, people like vodka. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
People tend to like it, but they're also pouring out bottles in the street to show their solidarity with Ukraine, which I know doesn't do much because they've already bought the vodka and Russia's already gotten the money for it. But it's like a symbolic, like, screw you. And I love it.
I guess I just think it's stupid. I really think it's a dumb thing. I understand the sentiment, but like I saw that, Tom Wolf, who's the governor of Pennsylvania, said, "Oh, we're not selling more Russian vodka." It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess theoretically it's fine, but like we're still buying so much oil from them. How is the vodka like? And the thing is, when we're not buying vodka, we're hurting. Granted, I'm not saying that we should buy it, but you're hurting individual Russian business owners. Not when you're buying oil, you're helping the government of Russia. So
Yeah.
it's like, how are we going to say, yeah, we're good helping the government of Russia, but not the individuals who might be against Putin's war, right?
Fox News actually posted a cartoon this morning. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but it was Joe Biden pumping gasoline into a van that had like "I Heart Ukraine" bumper stickers on it. And the gas pump said Russian oil. And then the one next to it said American oil with a sticker on it that said shut down due to Biden executive orders. And then out the back of the Russian one, it was money and Putin was just collecting money into a bag. I mean, it's just true.
Yeah, and I think that's what's not talked about as much. It's like, again, why do we shut down the Keystone pipeline? Why aren't we talking about American oil? I mean, we are a little bit, but it's like, it's great to say, oh man, look how cool I am pouring out Russian vodka, but it doesn't really do anything. If you want to do something, you can be energy independent from Russia and I mean, we have more than enough oil here if we, use all our resources, but we choose not to do that. So like, I hate the idea of government saying, I'm going to stop selling Russian vodka, which is what happened in Pennsylvania. It's like, I don't want to hear from you. I want you to stop buying their oil. And the way to stop buying their oil is to be self-sufficient enough. We don't have to do that by allowing pipelines. Like I don't care about the vodka. It doesn't mean anything.
I agree with you on that. I think I more or less just like the pouring out of the vodka from just individual people, just like
you already paid for.
I know. But I think it's funny and I think it's cute. It's just a symbolic gesture of Russia can go down the drain, or not the people, but the government.
It's an interesting conundrum, though, when you look at, we're shutting off. I saw the ruble is now worth less than like Dogecoin right now. So like their money's worth nothing. We're doing all these economic sanctions, which, really hurts the Russian people and Putin, which I mean, I agree with that. But how do we get past the fact it's like, 80% of Russia could be against this war, 90 maybe. Like you see all the people in the street that are risking their lives. So it's like you have this kind of conundrum, like, well, who are you hurting with these?
I know.
I mean, you're hurting Putin's popularity, but it doesn't matter. He's a dictator. Their elections are like rigged, so it doesn't actually matter. So it's like I just kind of have both sides. I mean, like, well, are we actually doing anything by this? I mean, we're hurting the Russian people, and but like Putin's going to be fine either way. Like, unless we're trying to say, oh, maybe this will be an uprising. I don't know.
I know. I part of me hopes it will be an uprising if people get to, it's like, this might not make a lot of sense, but during the summertime, the murder statistics go up because people are hot and they're grumpy and they just don't want to be there and they get angry and they go out and start like committing violent crimes. I just think that when conditions are bad, people get pissed and they want to do something about it. And so maybe these economic sanctions, I don't want this for the Russian people, but also maybe people will start an uprising and tell the government, like, we're sick of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the right move to do that, but it's like, I wonder at what point, and I guess it's hard, but you just don't even deal with Putin as like the legitimate Russian leader. You just say, well, we don't like, we're not going to deal with you. We don't believe you're the Russian leader. I mean, the same thing that's happening with the Taliban right now, right? In Afghanistan, people aren't dealing with, even though they're the head of the government, people are like, well, we don't consider you the legitimate leader, so we're not going to deal with you.
Hashtag not my president.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I'm just spitballing, but I do think the Russian vodka thing, I get it symbolically, but it doesn't actually do anything. Like, let's stop buying oil from them and be self-sufficient there.
I agree. I'm on team both. I'm on team stop buying the Russian oil and keep posting photos of pouring out vodka because I think it's funny. I think it's funny. And I also think it shows, and I don't know what's getting to Ukraine, but after Elon Musk hooked up the Starlink internet to Ukraine, I think it's really powerful to see images of solidarity from the entire world with Ukraine, because it's going to inspire them to fight more. That's why I like it. I like to see people doing whatever they can to show solidarity with Ukraine. I think it's sweet, but I'm more of a softie than you are, and I know that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that there is some value to it, right? It's like, especially with like people who, they can see all the social media stuff. I mean, they have stats, they're doing that. So like when governments are saying like all our people are for this, maybe that's going to make them be tougher on Russia. So I mean, I get that there is some value. I'm not saying there's no value. I just think the actual, especially the state governments not selling Russian or not pouring out Russian liquor, I'm like, it's useless. You're doing that because you want PR, not because of
right. I'm doing it for the Ukrainian people to see us standing with them and get on that internet and see the whole world standing with them. Let's talk about school choice for just a second. People said that 2021 was the year of school choice. In 2020, so many schools were shut down. Children had to learn virtually. Parents started saying like, wait a second. So you're telling me that when I get my pay stub back and I look at my taxes and I see my federal taxes, my state taxes, and my local taxes being taken out, what percentage of this is going to the school that my kid can't go to? People are really starting to compute all of these things in their head and saying, oh, I didn't know that school choice meant this, or I didn't know that we could have recourse in this way or in that way. And this is the year of school choice, or last year was the year of school choice. I think that the tide continues to rise as far as favor goes. Mark, got back some polling numbers recently. What did those say?
Yeah, I mean, they said 72% of Americans support school choice. I mean, that is a huge number. And it's, it's over 65% with Democrats, with Republicans, with independents. It's popular everywhere. Yet when we talk about, Republicans who, maybe they're more free market, they're not on this. And there's a lot of issues where even though so many Republicans support it, the actual people in charge aren't doing it. You kind of see in Utah and Texas, two places where you have a ton of support. I think it was 88% in Texas, and they don't have a school choice program, right? Utah just voted down a school choice program. Georgia just voted down a school choice program, despite people of all parties, and all affiliations liking these programs. So it's one of those issues that they always say that, politicians are a lagging indicator of the population. Mm-hmm. They are lagging way too much at this point. I mean, this has been popular for a while and it's becoming more and more popular. And truthfully, I think politicians, especially on the right, are probably going to have some issues and have to answer for that if they're against it when they come to the next primary.
Yeah, I was about to say, what does that say to you, Mark? Because to me, that says that, and this is a hot take and I might get in trouble for this, but to me, it says that the politicians care more about their chances of getting reelected than they do about the actual whims and desires of the people that they're representing. And
I don't think that makes sense though, because if they care more about getting reelected, they'd follow 88% of their electorate.
That's true. So what do you think it says?
in my opinion, I think there's two issues. One, there's the, people are still scared of the teachers unions, not because they're not going to support them, but if they, they have a lot of money. If they want to run somebody against you in a primary or in a general, especially in these swing districts, people are scared of that. They don't want a bunch of negative ads run against them.
Yeah.
I think the second part is you also had these people, maybe some more rural legislatures, and it's not because they're, their heart might be in the right place, but they're wrong on this issue, where they say, we have really good public schools here, and I don't want to do anything to mess it up. And I'm worried that, all our kids can learn and these things. And if we put this in, I just don't know how it's going to go. So you had those people, and then you kind of have some people on the left who they believe it's like, oh, we're giving, money to private companies. Like, well, it's not, they act like it's money that belongs to the public schools. It's money that belongs to the child. And that's the difference. But I think there's a lot of reasons for it, but I think this is now coming to the time where some of these people are going to pay for their lack of support of school choice in some of these states. I mean, yes. I think that when you see what happens in Utah and Georgia, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it, but it's very, very popular, especially with the pandemic. So it seems like a bad time to oppose school choice.
It definitely does. We can kind of leave it on that mic drop. It's a bad time to oppose school choice. We should post that on Facebook or something. We should make some ads off of that, because that was probably one of your best quotes, Mark. I really like that.
Good, but good.
Well, I like it. It's catchy. Before we sign off, it is Oscar season. It is award season. It's movie award season, music award season. And I try to do every year. I never have accomplished it, but I try to watch all of the movies that are nominated for Academy Awards, like the big ones, like best film, best lead, supporting actor and actress, whatever, all those top 5 categories. Let me tell you, this year I'm having trouble getting through it, because
what are some of the nominees? Do you know any offhand?
Okay, so the one movie that I wanted to see until everyone told me not to was Power of the Dog. I heard that was absolutely just not good, pure trash. I've seen a few of them though. I saw Licorice Pizza. I've seen that twice. I actually don't know if that's nominated for much. The Worst Person in the World is nominated for best international movie. I'm trying to think. I've seen so many. They're all, Spencer. I never saw that. The one about Princess Diana. That looked a little bit boring.
Well, let me ask you a question. You're just naming a bunch of movies I have literally never heard of. Don't you feel like that's what the awards have become, though? It's like they don't want to do movies that were commercially popular.
I mean, I've seen these movies and I'm having trouble remembering them. Okay, so Belfast, I saw that and it looked like a student art project, but it was beautiful. It was really good. Don't Look Up, shouldn't have been nominated, but it was funny. Dune, actually loved that. Licorice Pizza, loved it. Nightmare Alley, loved it. West Side Story, loved it. But then the rest of these, Drive My Car, I have trouble with subtitled movies, and I'm going to try to watch it, but I have trouble with movies.
But let me ask you why. What do these people these aren't experts. I mean, the idea of movies, it's completely subjective what's good and bad. So this whole idea that they like movies, oh, it's so beautiful art wise. I got a 4.5 out of 10 though. So other people didn't like it. I don't understand why they're the experts in movies. I mean, yeah, fine, but there's a reason nobody watches these.
It's
things.
true.
The bunch of movies they have, what they should do is they can do whatever they want. They should have different categories and not just the way they have it now. Movies that actually people liked, and then pick the best one of that. And you can have some weird category for movies that grossed under $500,000. But the problem is they do all these movies that nobody cares about. And you have great movies. I know you have these funny, you have these great movies that are, so successful in the box office, but they're never up for anything.
I know. Listen, Spider-Man wasn't the highest grossing, something crazy like that. It was so huge, and it's not, of course, not
for anything. No, because they don't care. They don't care what people think, and they want to seem smarter, and they want to seem. I mean, if you want to talk about better than everyone else, they were oh, look at this great movie. It's so beautiful and powerful. It's it's probably not. You may have liked it, and that's fine. But this is not what other people want. But that's why nobody watches these shows, because they're out of touch with normal people.
For actress in a leading role, there are 5 movies that are nominated. I didn't see a single one of them. And I have Regal Movie Pass, and I go to the movies at least once a week, usually multiple times a week. I go at least once a week, and I haven't seen any of these. And I'm pretty sure not a single one of the, Spencer did play at the Green Hills movie theater, but I'm pretty sure none of the other ones did. I even go to the Belcourt to see things, and I don't know these things.
That's even more insane. 20% of the movies nominated played at the movie theater. Like, who are you appealing to? Are you appealing to the 15 people who watch this movie that might agree with you, or at least want to seem, they just want to seem smarter? I'm done with all award show. Same thing with the Grammys too. It's like every once in a while you have some categories that are good, but then you'll be like, oh yes, song of the year. I remember this. There was like all these popular songs, and then Bruce Springsteen won song of the year for this song called "Girls in Their Summer Clothes." This was a long time ago. It's like it wasn't even on the radio. And they just like, oh, Bruce Springsteen, we want to be cool. And like, it's all garbage. These people are garbage. Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to watch it, that's fine. But I feel like the people who watch it and want to talk about it are people who just want to seem like they're more mature or more hoity-toity or smarter. It's like, these are not the movies that people watch or like. Fine.
I get intrigued by the hype around movies, and I do watch them, which is why I have Regal Movie Pass, because I like to go. But it is frustrating when a lot of these movies that are nominated for things like Cyrano and what else? There were so many others, Lost Daughter, all these different things.
You just keep naming words I've never heard of. Like,
I know,
that's not helpful.
I know. All these movies aren't at the Regal movie theaters, and so I have to like go to the Belcourt and pay extra to go see these movies, even though I'm paying $20 a month to go to the movie theater and see all these unlimited movies. And it's so frustrating because all the movies that are on this list, I don't get to see them, even though I'm intrigued by them. I get so frustrated.
Well, you should just stop, because most of the movies I bet are not that good that you see, that you've never heard of. You're like, oh, this is a nominee. I'm sure every once in a while you get a good one, but like most of them you probably don't like that much anyway.
I have seen, well, that's what's so wild is my favorite movies that I've seen this year. Dune was one of them, and it is nominated. But like French Dispatch, Wes Anderson, love Wes Anderson, not on the list. Spider-Man, No Way Home, saw that twice, loved it, not on the list. Like all these different things that I have enjoyed that are not nominated for anything. So I'm just going to start seeing things that I want to see and write off the Oscar list. I try to do this every year. I've done this every year for like 7 years, where I try to get through the list of movies that are nominated for the Oscars. And I can never do it because they're so bad.
Why don't you stop then? Yeah, why don't we just stop doing that? Enjoy movies, and maybe you could even read and say, because I mean there is, I'm sure, some great movies that the Oscars nominate that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. But read the description, and if it doesn't look good, don't watch it, which is most of those movies.
Yes, I heard that CODA, to kind of round this out on a happy note, CODA, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults or Children of Deaf Adults, one or the other. I heard that it was incredible and very moving, and it's nominated. That's the one that I heard is worth all the hype.
I've actually seen the commercial for that. I hope my mom, I think I told you my grandparents are both deaf.
That's right.
I hope my mom sees that. She probably likes it. I mean, that's literally about her.
Yes, it's on Apple Plus TV right now. And I have heard that it is actually so worth the hype. I'm actually watching it with my friend Saturday afternoon. I know I'm going to cry. I cry all the time anyways. What else is new? I'm going to cry during this. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But I actually heard of all the movies, I will say of all the movies that are on the list, the ones that I would recommend seeing are Dune, Licorice Pizza, and West Side Story. And the one that I'm most excited to see is CODA. So those are my
I thought West Side Story got like, nobody liked it.
So I think that I liked it because, and they made it was very different from kind of the original, but I grew up dancing, and so I can appreciate really great choreography.
Okay, so you like, yeah, and I mean that's the thing too. There's these things like from nostalgia sake you like, but it doesn't actually make it a good movie.
Sure, but it made me happy. I really enjoyed the dancing, the colors, the singing. I did like it, and I understand why people didn't, but I did.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but at least I'll respect them more because it's actually a movie that was in the theater. So fine.
Yes. I actually saw that in the movie theater. Go figure. Anything else to add on movies, Mark? I know that you have very specific taste in movies, and if it doesn't have like Rob Schneider in it, you're not interested.
Well, yeah, I love Rob. The Animal is obviously one of the great movies of all time. No, I mean the movies I like would never be nominated for that. I feel like every once in a while, although the one that I was really mad that wasn't was the one with Adam Sandler, the Gems, Uncut Gems. I was really upset that because that was actually a great movie and everyone talked about how it might be, and then it was pretty much not nominated for anything.
I didn't see that because everyone said that I wouldn't like it because it was apparently very anxiety inducing.
Oh, big time. Yeah, you would not like it. But I mean, it was so good that's why like it was anxiety inducing even for me, but it's like that's what made it good. But if you're not into that, then maybe.
Yeah, I love a happy ending. I love not sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for something terrible to happen the entire movie, and that just makes me nervous. So yeah, you know what? I'm good on that. Well, I will take one for the team and watch the award shows and say how much I hated all of the speeches.
Yeah, we don't need to hear it.
do a recap of my least favorite quotes of the night for all these awards. Everybody have a great week, and we will see you next time on Decaf.